Welcome to the Out of Capes podcast. We're talking about Legends of Tomorrow, Season 1, Episode 1, titled Pilot, Part 1. This is a podcast focusing on CW's Legends of Tomorrow series. I'm your co-host, Staffa.
And I'm Eric.
And the way how this show is structured is first we're going to have a discussion over this episode. Then after that, we're going to give it a rating out of 5 stars. And then we're going to close out the show. But for anyone who wants to stick around, we're going to talk about some spoilers. I don't think we have any spoilers for this week, though. But
I mean,
yeah,
hold on. I think there's one that I can think of, but other than that, no.
all right, we'll talk about that then. And yeah, that's how this podcast will be structured. So before we go on, going to do a quick disclaimer that all opinions expressed on the show are of our own and not of our employers, whether past, present, or future. All right. So let's get going and talk about this very slow episode.
Very slow.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I was traveling through time, man. Like time was moving so slowly for me. I thought I was a time master.
I know.
So, we'll talk about what happened on the show, and that wasn't really much. I mean,
No.
basically, they show the future with Vandal Savage, which we know came back to life because Merlin brought him back.
Merlin.
Yep, Malcolm Merlin. And so he destroys the future, and because he kills off Rip Hunter's family, Rip Hunter goes back in time, rounds everyone up, and yeah.
Yes.
So things to talk about from this episode. So anyways, like one notable thing is Gideon is back. She's back.
Yeah.
And with a different voice actress.
Yeah. I brought that up.
Yep, on the review of The Flash, you mentioned that. Anything significant we can say about that? That they are using Gideon? Like, is she gonna be like the main AI that everyone's gonna use in the future?
Yes.
Like every computer. So Gideon is basically the Siri of the future.
Yes.
You know, forget Siri, forget Cortana, Gideon. Gideon is it.
Yep.
So yeah. One thing I want to mention real quick is the scene where Rip Hunter is talking to the other Time Masters.
Yes.
I feel like that scene looked very, very, very low budget.
It did. It almost seemed almost like Doctor Who-ish.
I've never watched Doctor Who.
Never but I looked like a scene you would think out of it.
It looked like they used like another set from Arrow and Flash, specifically more Arrow, because it was like okay, it's a dark warehouse. That's what it looks like, and that's every episode of Arrow.
Not every.
All right, every other.
It's not Arrow's fault that he lives in a city full of just empty warehouses that nothing are done inside them.
It like nothing futuristic looked about that whole scene at all. Like it's supposed to look like some kind of like council from the future. No, it just looked like a dirty old warehouse.
Yes, with like just a cylinder room with like booths on all ends.
Yeah, I was very unimpressed by that scene.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, seeing like a cylinder room with a council on it is not something that's unique. Like we've seen that like time and time again in other movies and shows and such. And you know, like at least in other shows and stuff, they make it look very futuristic and cool looking and clean or whatever. But this, it just looked like a dirty old warehouse.
Yep.
I mean, even in like what's it called? The Captain America 2 Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a scene where they had like a council meeting and everyone was like a hologram.
Yeah.
Heck, even that looked more futuristic than than this. This is
Yep.
just a dirty old warehouse.
Yep.
Come on now. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say about that scene. Is it just looked like a dirty old warehouse.
Okay.
Um, so Rip Hunter is rounding everybody up, and I feel like the flashy thing is two men in black.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to note is you can't knock a guy back by throwing a shot glass at him. That has to be like the heaviest shot glass ever.
No.
Knock
He's a big
somebody
dude
back like
too.
that.
He was a big dude, so
Yeah.
like that'll do anything.
Like if anything, it would shatter, and maybe he'd be like, "Oh, my eye."
Yeah.
You're not
This
gonna.
goes into not just that scene, but like a lot of the scene, this whole episode was it's almost like arrow levels with the like midriff shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Every character had female character had a midriff at one point. Like Sarah was in Tibet. It was snowing. She's wearing a fur coat, but she's perfectly just wearing a midriff shirt. Midriff shirt, like in the winter.
Yeah,
And
man.
then Kira's wearing hers.
Even though she has a jacket on over that.
Yeah, but she's wearing a midriff shirt.
Hey, you're hiring these good-looking people.
I know.
I guess that's their logic. Okay, so yeah, they're rounding everybody up. He pretty much like neutralizes everybody very easily, and then when they all wake up, they seem pretty chill about it.
Yes.
And not only that, but they're all standing in a straight line.
They're all in a straight line on top of a building.
Yeah. Like, are they getting ready to get pushed off the edge or something? Like, it just seemed very weird.
And then also, like, if we remember the promo for this, the trailer promo, it showed like Flash and Arrow there when Rip was talking to him at first.
Yeah.
And this time, they're neither of them in, but Flash is there only because, or not Flash, Arrow's there only because he's teaming with Adam at the time.
Yeah.
And Black Canary was there because she's Sarah's sister.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, while he grounded them up, I was very confused as to why he chose them and not like Arrow and Flash, but he did explain that later on.
yes,
That they're all basically losers. So basically they are the Suicide Squad.
But no, that's the thing too, is that like he says that like in 150 years they will have no effect on the timeline. I was like, they're been dead then. No, they're not going to have an effect on the timeline.
Yeah, I was confused about that as well because I mean, like
are they saying that people are that there's superheroes going around 150 years from now that are around right now? Is that what they're trying to say? Like Flash and Arrow are still around 150 years later? You understand what I'm saying? Like that was the most very vague reason.
Plus, I mean, like, okay, Ray Palmer is not only a brilliant scientist, but he's also like a billionaire.
Yeah.
So how does he have no effect on the timeline?
Exactly.
I mean, like, I can understand Sarah because she's just chilling in Tibet,
and she's an assassin.
Yeah.
So really, she's not really known to anyone.
Um,
The villains, and they're just criminals.
I mean, they could probably have like a negative effect on the timeline. So
yeah. And then you have Stein, who's probably has effect on the timeline because he's a scientist.
Yeah, and a teacher. He's
so I don't know.
Like I'm not fully buying the whole they have no effect on the timeline. They're all losers.
And the Hawkman and Hawkgirl, I think, have effect on timeline since they are reborn every time they die.
Yeah. Plus, you saw them like saving the day, like in the very beginning of the episode.
Exactly.
So, like, I don't know. I'm not buying it.
Who knows?
So, but like as far as him rounding them up, it just seems very weird that like half of the crew was very um eager to join this complete stranger named Rip Hunter.
Good name.
And
Good name.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Guy named Rip Hunter shows up, tells you that he's from the future, wants you to go on his, a crazy time traveling adventure, and you're gonna be a legend.
See, that's the thing
Ooh, I'm
too,
gonna
is
be a
that like
legend.
the only one that was more realistic about was Ray, because Ray's Arrow's like skepticism like you have, which is like you're just gonna follow this guy.
Yeah,
And Ray's like, I mean, I kinda have to. It's like, no, you don't. He could be some crazy homeless person.
yeah. His name's Rip Hunter. Like,
Exactly.
can they not find? Can they not find Tear Seeker or?
Rip Hunter just sounds like a dude that'll be like really jacked up and works at a gym. My name is Rip Hunter, man.
Do you live, bro?
Do you lift? Yeah.
This is for America. Ugh.
Hey, me and
Alright.
my bros are gonna go down surfing on the beach. You wanna come with us?
All right. So yeah, I mean like they all the characters, as I mentioned, like half of them are pretty eager, the other half are not. They're reluctant, so there's some deliberations between like
Hawkman and Hawkgirl fight it out. Which you knew who was gonna win, and then Stein just drugged.
why did they like go all wing form inside a small I looks like a hotel room?
I don't know. Very good question.
Like why are they gonna fly around in a small hotel room?
I don't know.
Yeah, Stein and his roofies.
Stein roofies.
Yup.
Mick's like, could I have some of those? And like Cold and Mick are both like, we'll only do this because then we can just rob from history.
Yep. Um. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And Sarah and Laurel's like, "Oh, be the White Canary, change history."
Change history. Oh, by the way, I have this whole suit that I just so conveniently just had Cisco made just in case you somehow come back.
You don't need a mask anymore.
You need to be in the light.
That makes no sense. Why isn't she in the light then? Like,
Because
you know?
she's gone down the dark road. She can't come back from it.
Okay. um.
AA is a hell of a place.
Yeah. So basically, they travel through time.
Yes.
Um. When they get into the ship,
70s.
like it seemed very Firefly for me.
Yes, it did.
Like they were intentionally trying to make it seem Firefly because of the how the ship looked, and on top of that, Rip Hunter looking like a cowboy,
Yes.
and even worse so later in the end when he has like a laser revolver pistol.
Yep.
I felt like they were trying really hard to get that Firefly vibe.
Yep.
And maybe they're also trying to get some stuff from Doctor Who as well, but I don't know. I mean, you said that it seemed like some Doctor Who in there, but I wouldn't be able to tell you since I've never watched it before.
Neither have I, but it looked like something that would be.
Time Masters.
Exactly.
So, yeah. They meet up with that professor who ended up being the son of Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Which I mean, I'm applaud them for getting the same actor from the crossover when they had Vandal Savage, but I was like, that's kind of a really cheap way of integrating him into the storyline and how he has this much information.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, oh, I just got it from my parents. Okay.
It's like, I made this my life goal to study where exactly Vandal Savage is at all times.
Exactly.
At all times. And like I don't know. Like I felt like I felt no connection at all to this character or Hawkman and Hawkgirl griefing over his death
Yeah, I didn't feel
because
it either.
they're both these Hawkman and Hawkgirl are both new. They've only been in a couple episodes of Flash and Arrow.
Yes.
I really don't have any
Hawkgirl
connection with them at all.
more. Hawkgirl more than Hawkman.
Just like one more episode,
Two more actually.
two more. Okay, then.
Remember they were dating for like 2 episodes. Then was the crossover.
Either way, like I felt no connection to them at all, and not only that, but as soon as like the ship was being attacked by Jango Fett and the professor was there, it was very obvious that he was gonna die.
It was obviously he was gonna die from something in the episode. Like that was the reason why he died
And
before Crows appeared.
it was very obvious for the viewers, but it was not obvious for them at all. Like once he got shot, like they still didn't realize he was gonna die. Like they didn't put two and two together that this guy dies.
Yes,
at,
and
like,
then
in history.
Rip goes, you can't fight history. Like it's gonna happen. You can't stop it.
Yeah. So Kronos,
Yes.
bounty hunter sent by the Time Masters.
Yes.
They use two different Star Wars references on him.
Yes, Vader and Boba Fett.
Yes. And so him being sent by the Time Masters, who are very they're strong believers that you're not supposed to change the timeline.
Yes.
Why is Kronos killing random people?
He's killing people that have no effect on the timeline. He even said that with the people in the car. He goes, check to see if you have effect on the timeline. He goes, no, and then he just kills those people.
But why? Why is he killing them?
Because they know he's there.
It makes no sense.
He can erase anyone that sees him.
But he could be like, I'm a cosplayer, yo.
A cosplayer that just randomly appears.
Sure. He's like, you guys are just on drugs. And then he can use the Men in Black flash thing to knock him out.
Oh my god. It doesn't work that way, Stava.
But either way, wouldn't killing people regardless on what they have effect on, like the overall world, like that would like make some type of an effect on the timeline.
No.
Come on now.
Yes.
Science.
Yes. It would. Every little thing affects the timeline.
Yep. You step on a butterfly in the past and it will change everything.
Okay, Fable.
Fable
originally was supposed to be that. Like if you stepped on like a flower, it was gonna change the whole game.
There was this one like B movie science fiction movie that I watched. I can't remember what it's called, but like
Effect?
no, it wasn't Butterfly Effect. Like basically they would go back in time and like to the like prehistoric age, and like they have like this this laser beam walkway that they would walk on and just have tourists, just view dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not supposed to leave that like laser beam walkway. And then somebody did. They left it and like they stepped on a butterfly and that like completely changed the timeline. And then they came back and like people were like half dinosaur, human, bird things, whatever. Yeah. It was pretty dumb. I can't remember what it's called. If I remember what it's called, I would probably mention it just so people can like be like, hey, we'll check out this dumb movie. But anyways, yeah. So after they fight with Chrono. I'm getting ahead of myself. One thing I want to mention real quick is the terrible bar fight.
Yes.
like with Sarah and Mick and what's his name? Captain Cold. Can't remember his name real
Leonard.
before some. Yeah, Leonard. Yeah. So like that was just a really bad bar fight. Like I feel like they threw in an action scene in there just because the episode was so slow that they're like, hey, let's throw a random action scene in here. And it was just very poorly choreographed as well. Like the camera was all over the place. Like it was jumping from one camera to another constantly, and you can tell that, you know, this is a stunt double because like the way how it was like so quickly changing camera angles. Did you get that as well?
Yeah.
It just seemed like a very bad fight scene.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Yeah, anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
Okay. We're gonna give this a rating out of 5 stars. That's how we do it on these podcasts. It's 5 solid stars. We don't give any 0.5s. You know, we don't give like 3.5 or 4.5. Just just 5 solid stars.
Yes.
And so I'll go first this time. This was a very slow and quite frankly it was a boring episode. Maybe it's unfair to judge this because it's only part 1 of part 2, but if I don't know, like they probably should have showed, because it's the premiere, they probably should have showed both parts just so
Yeah.
we could get a more complete episode, but it felt very slow. It felt very I don't know, like this bad sci-fi series, like the Sci-Fi Channel. I'll
Yeah.
give it a 2 thrown shot glasses out of 5.
Okay.
I really did not care for this episode. In fact, I really hope the next episode's significantly better. If not, I'm not even too sure if we'll continue doing reviews on this show or not.
Okay.
I think the next episode will be the determining factor on whether we will be doing
Do you want me to read the um the description of next episode?
sure. Well, give me your rating and real quick.
Okay, I'll probably give it 2 stars for the same reason.
Okay.
They just felt incomplete the whole episode.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for the description?
Sure.
Stein versus Stein. Tipped off to Vandal Savage whereabouts, the team infiltrates a munitions deal with Professor Stein as their leader. Surrounded by some of the toughest criminals in the world, things quickly go from bad to worse when Savage realizes they don't belong there. A massive fight ensues, and a piece of the Atom suit falls off and into the wrong hands, which could potentially cause disastrous consequences in the future. Stein realizes the best way to retrieve the missing piece is to contract a brilliant man, his younger self. He, Sarah, and Jax head off in search of young Marnstein, much to Rip's chagrin. Meanwhile, Start and Rory plan to steal a key element in defeating Savage, but still unsure of his new teammates, Ray demands to come along on the mission. Carter helps Kid to remember something vital. In the photos, they show who this gets a piece of his suit, and it's Damien Dark. So that's your episode 2.
All right. Okay, so I guess was that gonna be for the spoilers discussion that we'll have later?
This time is next episode, so I mean.
Okay. All right. So let's wrap this up. if you well, if we'll go wrap this up and then we'll have a discussion on spoilers after that for
Yeah.
anyone who wants to stick around for that.
I mean, there's not really that much. They haven't released very much about the series, but there's one thing that they've come out and said.
All right. So if you enjoy what you've been hearing, you can support us by liking us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. You can leave an iTunes review. You can also contact us by email. That's capes@outofcontinues.com. All those things I just mentioned, they can be found on the website. That's www.outofcontinues.com/TV podcasts. Or you can just go to outofcontinues.com, and on the side, there's a link that says TV podcasts. You can give me a tweet. I am at Sayedstafa. That's at SAYEDSTAFA.
You know, I'm at emesker, EMETZGER712.
With that said, I'm Stafa,
You know what I mean?
and we will either see you next week or we'll see you in a moment in the spoiler section. So, here's your spoiler warning. Stop your MP3 if you don't want to hear the spoilers. Or end the video if you're watching this on YouTube. So there's your warning. Let's get going.
Sure.
So what was it that you want to talk about for the spoiler
It is
discussion?
revealed that Jonah Hex is going to be in the series.
Oh, Jonah Hex.
He's going to be in the 11th episode.
So him and Megan Fox.
Not Megan Fox, not that Jonah Hex. That one does exist, just like how Ryan Reynolds is a Green Lantern. They don't exist.
Oh, okay. So no Megan Fox.
No Megan Fox.
So is this Jonah Hex gonna have a horse with like Gatling guns on the side and?
I don't know. All I know is that they hired an actor to play Jonah Hex for the 11th episode.
That's interesting. You know what? Yeah, I am slightly interested now.
Because they kind of bring in the sign of heroes. I think this is what it's going to be. Is they're going to bring in heroes that like a lot of people don't know a lot about.
So they can make another movie for Jonah Hex.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose this show can be used to bring in like the
B-level.
heroes that are like from different timelines, like maybe Commandy.
Yes.
Because Commandy was the last man on Earth, right?
Yeah.
Commandy is basically like DC's version of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
They
could bring in Booster Gold.
Yeah.
He's time traveling.
Yeah.
But I doubt there because there's talks of doing a Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie. So who knows?
I liked Booster Gold his representation on Smallville.
Gosh, you always bring that up. Booster Gold is not a NASCAR driver.
It like his suit made sense. He had logos and stuff on his suit, and it makes sense in the Booster Gold way. I liked it.
Okay.
I didn't like Blue Beetle on that episode though.
No one does.
Or was it that episode, or was it a different episode? Either way, it was. He was like this, like scared, sweaty kid that didn't even know what he was
Justice?
doing.
You mean kind of like Young Justice?
No.
He was a scared little kid.
No, he wasn't like the one in Smallville. He couldn't even control the suit. Like he was like, "What am I doing? Oh no!"
Okay, my bad.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. So is that all we got?
Yep.
All right. Let's close this out. We'll see. Or as I mentioned before, we'll probably determine next week whether we will be doing these reviews on Legends of Tomorrow. I mean, we have a tight schedule. It's tough for us to do these reviews, especially now that, I mean, we've been doing the Flash reviews on Wednesdays for the most part. And with Legends of Tomorrow coming on Thursdays, it's easiest for us to do both recordings at the same time. So we got to figure out a day to do these, and if Legends of Tomorrow is even worth doing the reviews for,
Kind
we
of like
might
how
not
you
even.
dropped Arrow.
Yeah.
You dropped Arrow. You say no to Supergirl.
Oh, definitely no Supergirl.
And you
I
said
have. Have you watched more of Supergirl?
yes.
How's that show going?
It's slow, but it's picking up now.
I haven't watched anything other than that first episode.
Stop.
What?
You need to watch all of them.
I need to.
Yes.
I need to watch all of them, including Gotham.
No, Gotham.
Definitely not Gotham.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out soon whether we will be continuing the podcast for this or not. And if it picks up, then we'll definitely do more of these. But we'll also have to figure out our schedule for this as well. So, all right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys.
See ya.